Hello, my name is Laura Darling. It's a sunny day here in Brighton, on the south coast of England, and I'm heading into the studio this morning. It's the 30th of January 2025. I'm a painter and writer. I've lived in Brighton for 20 years now, but I grew up as an only child in a small town in Hampshire and spent a lot of time drawing and writing and generally living inside my head. My father was artistic, but he wasn't encouraged to pursue it as a career. And I think because he was a perfectionist, perhaps he wouldn't have been able to accept the failures that you have to go through. But I did love the fact he could draw so well. I went on to study geography at university, and then I worked in business for many, many years before becoming a writer and deciding to try and write a novel. So I came to painting late, initially as a distraction to sitting down all day at a screen. But I quickly found that it totally took over, and it became the thing that I thought about at night and the first thing I want to do when I get up in the morning. I'm influenced by light, colour, words. I love the Charleston artists' use of colour and their very chalky palettes. The St Ives school of abstract artists, particularly Paul Feeler's jagged slices of paint and the colours he uses. My work isn't like this, but I think that the colours and the way of looking at a landscape in blocks is really interesting. And the South Downs, where I live, is a landscape kind of made up of triangles of hills and boundaries, blocks of chalky colour and the lines of paths that cut through the fields. Sometimes words and pictures coexist, and I write about what I paint and I paint what I write. I'm reading a lot of non-fiction at the moment, nature writers like Robert Macfarlane and Nan Shepherd, and prose poets like Alice Oswald. Her book, Dart, has been the catalyst for many ideas over the last couple of years. But for this past year, I've been working on a much larger scale, and it's really exciting. I was lucky enough to be part of a group show in a wonderful location in Brighton a few months ago. It's an old house from the Regency period with a lot of wall space. And this gave me the challenge and impetus to create some much bigger works than I normally do. So I've learnt to pin the canvas to the studio wall and paint, not worrying about the mess. And I decide on the crop later when I get them stretched, and it's allowed me to work in a whole different way. I think something else that's an undercurrent to my work is I'm really interested in the Right to Roam movement. So ideas of physical and man-made boundaries in a landscape are always there. I want to be able to see the space beyond. I don't want to be confined to someone else's idea of where I should go and what path I should take. And this is something I'd really like to explore more in my work. The biggest challenge for me as an artist, I think, is knowing when to rein in. I have a million different ideas and I want to react to them all the time. I used to worry that my work was too scattergun, but then I suppose I have painted it all, and that must be the thread that ties everything together. I have the idea of a theme. I love themes. But by the time I've created a couple of paintings, my head has moved on to somewhere else. So I think I do find being a butterfly a bit of a challenge. I think the advice I would give to my younger self would probably be, don't worry. Perhaps you'll do what you really want to do later in life. Nothing is forever. You might not even know yet what that thing is. So I would say take the opportunities and do as much as you can, as broadly as you can. I don't think I would have been robust enough or single-minded enough to even attempt a career in art when I was younger. And to be honest, I wouldn't even have considered it. But the experiences that we have make us what we are now. So the latent artist in me, I suppose, was shaped by what I did all those years when I wasn't doing art. I'm definitely a conventional painter. I like a lot of drippy washes and overlaying, but I don't think that's very groundbreaking. I only work really in oil paint, though I do love the abstract watercolourists like Arne Isaacson. But I think I'm happy with the materiality of oils and how forgiving they are. I'm really lucky to have a studio in the back garden. It's half a garage, and it's an absolute sanctuary, despite all the spiders and most recently a nesting wren. I have to have quiet when I'm writing, so when I'm painting I like to have some background, sometimes playlists that I make especially, sometimes the radio, although not the news, and I'm a sucker for a history podcast. I hope people feel that there is something in my work that pulls them in, a line of light or a flash of something just seen. And I hope that they find what they're looking for, that my view of the world resonates with them, that they feel at ease enough with my work to dust it with their own experience, that when I paint a landscape, they see themselves there, or they remember a time when they were there. Someone said to me once that I paint space and silence, and this is what they craved. And I think often it's what I crave too. So this was a comment I held really close. I hold really close. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you to Art by Artist for the opportunity to share my practice with you. If you'd like to see any more of my work and the inspiration behind it, please go to my Instagram, Laura Darling Art, or there's my website at lauradarlingart.com. And if you're interested, you'll find my short writing pieces on Substack, and my Substack is called The Light Watch. Thank you once again. Bye-bye.